In the 1990s, light novel adaptations didn't yet have the stigma of trashy harem anime looming over them, and a wide variety of them enjoyed great success. The most popular by far was a high fantasy series known as Slayers. Written by Kanzaka Hajime and telling the story of an overpowered treasure-chasing teenage sorceress and her wacky party members, it received plenty of adaptations, including one of the biggest anime of the 90s, which had multiple seasons, OVAs, and movies, along with a revival in the 2000s, long before every other show was getting one. Slayers had a massive influence on its genre and on anime as a whole that continues to this day. This video is not about Slayers. Well, tangentially it is. Kanzaka's world building in Slayers had established that the sword and sorcery tale took place in the Red World, which had a number of parallel universes connected to it. So in 1992, when he started a second light novel series and made it a comedic space opera, he decided to set that in the Black World a universe over. The result was Lost Universe, which in 1998 received a 26-episode anime adaptation by Slayers director Watanabe Takashi that actually took over Slayers' time slot on TV Tokyo. Everything from the marketing to the art style was poised to try and grab the Slayers audience despite the slight change in genre. Lost Universe tells the story of Kane Blue River, who's inherited his grandmother's spaceship that's actually powerful lost technology, and his two sidekicks, Canal, the ship's snarky and selfish AI, and Millie, a cranky detective who wants to be the best in the universe at anything and or everything. They go around the galaxy taking odd jobs and ruining one another's plans, and always end up having to fight monsters or criminals with Kane's mysterious psychic laser sword ability and the power of the ship. Much like Slayers, it's a comedy that slowly builds a serious plot behind all the gags that comes to a head near the end of the season. With the same director, the same original author, and many of the same voice actors, Lost Universe was clearly trying its best to recapture Slayers' success. The voice cast for the Japanese track is a who's who of great 90s Vhs, a number of whom are still working today. And while the dub's actors didn't enjoy the same success, they do a pretty solid job themselves. The OP, Infinity by Hayashibaru Megumi, who also voices Canal, is an absolute banger, which isn't surprising considering her usual output. The art style has a nostalgic charm. From the clunky CGI to the bright colors and sharp, energetic character designs, it perfectly encapsulates the era in which the show was made. E&G Films was clearly doing their best with what they had. Plus, the little references to Slayers are fun to spot, like how the lost ships are this universe's versions of the demigods and their abilities are the same kind of magic. As to why Lost Universe didn't become a massive hit though, there seem to be a few factors. The first few episodes have pretty bad visual quality thanks to a fire at the studio, leading to the show being mostly known for the rushed animation in those episodes. The replacement work for episode 4 was outsourced to another studio that, as far as the rumor mill goes, they didn't give enough reference material to, and the results sucked so bad that the episode had to be completely redone after it aired. It was basically the 90s version of the Cabbage episode of Brighter Than the Dawning Blue. Not exactly the best first impression. On top of that, the main trio tries to recapture the energy of Slayers' chaotic, imperfect, and sometimes petty and destructive party, but sometimes, especially at first, they just come off as annoying. Kane is that 90s trope of the apparently useless, irresponsible tool who surprises everyone by being super special and competent when it's time to stop being comic relief. But the show regularly undermines it by having him act like he's the only sensible one all the time and consistently proving him right even when it doesn't make sense. And Millie's level of competence fluctuates drastically, sometimes being just as impressive as she says she is, and other times failing on the regular so she can get captured and Kane can tell her to stay out of it. In the first episode, she goes from secretly tracking down highly dangerous crime lords to not being able to open doors and getting kidnapped and patronized. Like Kane sucked out all her skills and abilities in a 2-minute span. So the contrast the creators were going for simply doesn't manifest, and Kane comes off as a smug, self-important guy the narrative wants to shill, while Millie's whining about how she'd be fine if it weren't for him actually seems justified despite how many times he has to rescue her. The chemistry between those two and the jealous, self-centered Canal works eventually, when it becomes clear that yeah, they are all intended to be a bunch of overpowered jerks screwing each other over for their own gain and failing at it, but the series' growing pains in that vein are sometimes too grating to watch. Lost Universe was licensed by ADV in 2000 and released on VHS and DVD, both subbed and dubbed. They held the license until they went under in 2007, and neither Sentai nor the other Section 23 firms deigned to pick it back up. But Nozomi Entertainment, ever the rescuers of old school anime, quickly licensed it again. They've re-released it on DVD in a single box set that includes a few special features like short character bios and some translator's notes. You can find it on Crunchyroll, both sub and dub, and the DVDs are still in print as well. With a 1-2 punch of a bad first impression, plus an additional Slayers OVA and movie coming out right after Lost Universe drawing the fanbase back to it, Lost Universe never enjoyed the success of its sister series. The light novels got cancelled not long after, and Kanzaka focused solely on Slayers and a couple one-off projects from then on. Is Lost Universe as good as the series whose shadow it stands in? Well, not really, but it is one of those series that takes a little while to get better. Let me know in the comments whether you've seen this one and what other older anime you think didn't get a fair shot. This is Secret Identity Studio, and sometimes I wonder how the series was supposed to end. Because spoilers, when the light novels got cancelled, they abruptly just killed everyone off.